Well, boys, it was the North London Derby, and I ate Spur eight. Why
All right.
is eight stuck on my mind? This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight, that is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Brad, how are you doing?
I also ate Spurs.
How many?
Three.
Three Spurs.
Three Spurs. I ate.
Okay. All right.
Sean, I don't care how you're doing, Sean. Okay, so what we got for you guys tonight? We got review match week 6. I guess we're gonna very quickly gloss over the fact that there is a Carabao Cup week coming up, and
For some.
we got to talk about this game. 8 goals scored. That's all I'm gonna say. 8 goals scored. But before we dig too deep into the Premier League action from this weekend, if you could hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell on YouTube. If you're on one of the podcast sites, hit it with a follow, 5-star review, share it with a friend, do all of those things. Put it on X, put it on Instagram. All those things help us out tremendously.
What are you saying, X?
I know.
Wow, you got it this time. Let's go, Boomer.
I'm not an internet boomer anymore. All right. It felt so wrong when I said. All right. So if you want to, guys, check those scores. They're ticking below. We are in the middle of the match week now on that ticker tape. But just pay attention to that, and it will give you all of the information you need to know. But we are, of course,
as the person that wears multiple hats, and I am the information director when it comes to the ticker. I will tell you, when I got to Newcastle, it's a lot of scorers. There were 8 different scorers. I didn't feel like typing them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was too
much. Sorry, Joel.
But before we get there, let's Sean, we need to discuss this sunny day in North London.
I gotta crack my knuckle.
Okay.
This is gonna be spicy here because the group chat was spicy.
You have told me, James.
I have. Okay.
You have told me that I will be smacked in an argument, and I want you because I can't think of ways logically that you could put this argument together. So I would like to give you the floor first of why Arsenal were the better team.
What?
Wait. Before we get started, the North London
ahead.
Derby happened. For those that don't have the score sheet or don't remember the score, it was a draw. It finished 2-2. Arsenal went up twice. Tottenham came back twice for the draw. And so with that in mind, Sir James,
okay,
why is Arsenal the better team?
Before I get into my detailed dissertation, shout out to Joel for correctly predicting the 2-2 score line. So big ups to you, Joel.
Sorry, we trampled that.
I had that too. I had that as well. I was peer pressured into changing.
You were bullied.
If you look at the sheet, it was 2-2.
Okay. Why do I believe that Arsenal,
having watched with your own eyeballs,
both of them?
Why do you come out of that ball game thinking that Arsenal was the better team?
What did Tottenham do after they scored the second goal? Not a damn thing. Tottenham did nothing after the second goal. After Arsenal gifted Tottenham the second goal, laid it on a platter for them, said, "Here, would you like to score? We just scored. How about you guys have one?" So after Arsenal presented an equalizing goal a minute after we went up in the second half, Tottenham didn't do a damn thing. Yeah, okay, you had some shots, you had some opportunities, but so did Arsenal. It's not like you guys, there was no situation where it's like, damn, Tottenham should have scored here. There was no point in that match where I was like worried watching it with my own eyes, where I was like, oh man, Tottenham are in control of this game. Tottenham are going to go win this game. So when I saw 10 minutes go up for the extra time, I said, that's enough time to get a winner. for Arsenal, but Tottenham's certainly not going to get a winner here unless it's on some sort of counterattack. Arsenal have 10 men in front of the ball and Tottenham break. Okay. I'm going to anticipate your concerns. You're going to complain about the referee that he was biased and that anytime Tottenham kicked an Arsenal player, fouled.
You're not anticipating that. I said it.
Okay, well, I'm anticipating for the people. So you're gonna say that the referee was biased and Tottenham couldn't get away with anything, and Arsenal got away with everything. The foul situation, I think, ended 19 fouls for Tottenham and like 10 for Arsenal, something like that. So Tottenham was adjudged to have committed more fouls. Tottenham had 4 yellow cards. Arsenal had 3. What's up, Brad?
It was 19-12 on the fouls.
Oh, 19-12.
You're correct on the yellow cards.
I was close on the fouls. Anyway, so does that indicate to me that that Arsenal got away with it? The one thing I will say that I think Arsenal got away with was, I think Nketiah probably deserved a red card for a foul on Vicario when he was closing him down and he got the yellow card. I thought that should have been a red card because of the way that he trapped his planted foot. So I think Arsenal got away with one there. I don't know how Romero wasn't yellow carded for the handball. That was confusing to me, but he ended up with a yellow card anyway, but that could have affected the game. In watching the game, I did not think that the referee was offensive, but I'm not a Tottenham fan, so I didn't have 7 more fouls called against me, but I'm biased, so it's hard for me to judge that. It's hard for me to I think you're also going to say that Tottenham controlled the possession, that Arsenal... I think you're mostly going to say that Tottenham controlled the possession and controlled the flow of the game from a possession standpoint. I will present to you the fact that Arsenal were playing their third string center back, or their third string central defensive midfielder in Jorginho for the entire second half. Our entire midfield fell apart in the second half. So I think you guys had more possession in the first half, but it wasn't as one-sided as the second half was. And when we took Declan Rice and Fabio Vieira off, our entire impetus just changed. Jorginho, it took him 25 minutes before he confidently started making passes and getting into spaces, and that really affected. Odegaard had to drop literally back to the center backs to receive the ball, whereas in this first half he was able to operate much further up the pitch. He had to basically play in his own half to get the ball in the second half, which is, if you look at Arsenal this year, our entire attack is predicated on the fact that Odegaard and Saka and White are playing in a very kind of compact 3, and a lot of stuff's happening on the opponent's right side. So I will say that, sure, Tottenham controlled the possession, but I don't think they did a lot with it. And to be fair, you were playing against our third string defensive midfielder. I don't want to take up too much time. I should let you speak. And so, okay, I guess my takeaway, I'm very disappointed that we drew that game. I'm exceedingly disappointed that we drew that game. I think we should have won it. I think we deserve to win it. And I'm annoyed that we didn't win it. So I'll let you go. You can tell me how you feel.
I will start by saying that I think it's a very good thing for both of our clubs that both of us are both annoyed that we drew the game and both felt like we should have won the game. So that is a good sign for both of our clubs. Bad sign for the opposing person in this argument that both of us are encouraged by that game. I felt like we should have won because we also are playing our third string center defensive mid. So congratulations, Pape Sarr is our third string center back because Bentancur is not in the lineup.
Oh, so hold on.
Let's start there.
I thought Sarr was your. Sarr was the best midfield.
Yeah,
midfield of the century.
I'm sorry that we have 4 of the
midfield ever.
I'm sorry that we have 4 of the best 3 midfielders of all time.
I'm looking for my yellow card. That was an absurd take. You have been telling us for 6 weeks now that Tottenham have the best midfield of all time, and I know you've been saying it tongue in cheek.
And Bentancur's not even coming.
Okay, all right. Continue.
It's been a while.
No. I actually wasn't going to bring up the possession because the possession was fairly equal. It was 54. We had a 54% possession. That's not that dominant.
No, agreed.
So I wasn't going to
Okay.
attack there. I was
Okay.
just going to say when we were in possession, it seemed more dominating. And that is just perception, and that is in the eye of the beholder. But I felt like we were more aggressive than you guys. I never felt threatened when you had the ball, which is weird because this is not the defensive team of Mourinho and Conte, where I should feel confident in the defense. Where I felt less confidence under them, I feel more confidence now. Now you finally found it. There you go.
There's your yellow card. It's a little bit delayed. We had to play the advantage first.
So speaking of cards, I had no problem with the yellow for Nketiah. Honestly, if you want to rule it a red, all right. I could see the line of thinking that would take you there. I didn't have a problem with the yellow. I really didn't. What I had a problem with was that it was early in the game that the tone was being set for Tottenham that we were not to be aggressive where Arsenal were allowed to be. So then, of course, you adjust your play accordingly. And I think Arsenal probably did the same thing of like, oh, we're getting away with these. Let's be more aggressive. And then they started to get the fouls. And I think it was a little topsy-turvy on that ended up being closer than it felt like to me. But early in the game, we were not getting away with anything that Arsenal were. I mean, and I think they adjusted to that line of play.
It is historically true that in order to stop Arsenal, you need to kick Arsenal. And I think that this is becoming more evident at the end of last year and even into this year that teams are going to foul our players. I'm not specifically stating that Tottenham came into this match with that game plan that they needed to stop us through physicality, but that has been a thing that teams have employed against Arsenal historically.
And I can concede that. I did not feel that our fouls and your non-calls were any different in the first half. And if I were able to quickly pull up the first half stats, I would probably guess that the fouls were probably more like 10-3. And then it ends 19-12. I would guess that. But I don't know that for certain, and it's not going to be easily something I can look up.
Yeah, no.
The first half fouls, so I could go back and count, but it's not going to be something I could do right now. But you didn't score a goal from free play.
This is a point of contention between us.
What makes you think that you deserved any of those goals in the slightest?
Okay, so
if Saka was allowed to kick that goal free with Romero not in the way, Vicario had it covered.
Disagree.
Romero, again, stupidly stuck his hand up, so you got a dumb luck penalty, which happens. It was a absolute bona fide penalty kick. I am not arguing that it wasn't, because I didn't argue the Man United. It was the exact same thing as the Man United call, where he lunged and his hand went up and the ball hit it. In the Man United game, he was in the box and they adjudicated that not a penalty because he was lunging. In this game, they adjudicated that it was a penalty. I said in both games it should be a penalty. But I will just call it there. That's the only thing I'll have to say about the refs after this, is that just call it consistently. Call it in the United game or don't call it in the Arsenal game. I don't care. If lunging and your hands go out and that's okay, then call it consistently.
Well, the problem, I would say, I'm going to let you. I know you have a thought, Brad, but the only thing I would say about that is that they recognize that it was a mistake in the United game, and they've rectified it so that they get it right in the Arsenal game. You don't want to set a precedent in week one that you have to carry throughout the year because it's just wrong. Like if the idea
was wrong.
Yeah. So, okay, Brad, what was your question?
So I'm not on either side here. I have. I've done some. I did some digging into Mr. Jones, but we'll get into that in a second. Um, um,
Mr. Jones.
but
Jones, the
the
referee.
goalie's the referee's name is Robert Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mr. Jones.
It's a
I
good
just have a
song.
question, Sean. I did not get to watch this game, clearly. But I see that it was an own goal scored in the 26th minute, and you said there was no goals from open play. So was that a free kick? How did that own goal
Can I answer
be
this?
scored?
That doesn't count.
How's that? I don't understand how that doesn't
It
count.
kicked a ball that would have been blocked, and it got deflected erroneously.
Sean's contention is that any and all own goals are not attributable to the team that created them.
Does Saka get credit for that goal?
No, he doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay, but there's a difference between putting a ball in a
Okay.
dangerous place and Romero like picking like in FIFA when you're annoyed and like you're just mad and so like you kick the ball. They've just scored a fourth goal on you, so you pass the ball back to your center back and you have your center back dribble into the goal. Like that's like essentially you're equating that Saka situation where he puts in a dangerous shot that you claim Vicario will save. I'm not sure Vicario will save. And then Romero sticks a leg out because he's not sure Vicario is going to save it. And so he sticks a leg out and it goes in the goal. You're essentially saying that's the same thing as Romero picking the ball up from half field and just dribbling it into his own goal. That's essentially what you're saying. You're saying that those are the same thing in terms of value. And so
Ipso facto.
loyal listeners of Red Card Radio, we have decided that from here on out through this year, because Sean is a fan of consistency, and if you call it one way week one, you got to call it the same way next time. All own goals that Tottenham get from here on out are of no merit because of Tottenham. They were luck. Tottenham get no credit for those goals whatsoever, except for the fact that they get a point on the scoreboard. That's all the credit they get. They didn't do anything to deserve that. They didn't do anything to earn that. And so we just got to keep that same energy throughout the season, okay?
For those not looking on YouTube, as you see his face as James explains everything here, and the smirk that comes on Sean's face, the troll is out in North London.
I thought that before you explained it, James. I'm glad you laid that out that way.
I think Mr. Jones has only refed for the North London Derby for you guys. Oh no, he couldn't have.
What are you
I'm confused here.
I remember that.
I looked at the stats. So look,
I remember them saying he's a very young ref. I remember them saying
he's only
that.
been in the league since
This is
2019 and 2021.
yeah, it's like his third or fourth year. He's been around for a couple years now.
He's refed both 4 games for both Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal and Tottenham have both won 2 and drawn 2.
What do you guys?
I told you I did some research on Mr. Jones here.
Refrater.com.
He's got
The transfer market. Transfermarket.us got it on there.
On our Chelsea. This has to be on our Chelsea.
Yeah, this man's got a database.
Because they're the only ones that have a database on refs that care this much.
No. Here's the funny part is that he has given Arsenal 6 yellow cards. He's given Tottenham 11. For opponents, he's given Arsenal's opponents 11 yellow cards and Tottenham 6.
This guy's clearly an Arsenal fan.
Yes, clearly. I knew it.
But he is from. But look. He is not a North London Derby. He's not a London referee.
Let me guess where he's from. He's from Manchester.
Yes. No.
Oh.
Birmingham.
No.
Newcastle.
Merseyside.
Okay. Merseyside. Okay, I'm gonna annoy all the people from England by saying this, but that's the same thing as Manchester.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It's
Liverpool.
Same part.
It's the same region. It's the same region. Okay.
Okay.
Brad.
Well, you know what? That kind of that doesn't help me in any way in my argument, but it does lend some credence to that. I to your point and mine that I felt like he was trying to set a tone of, all right, he was told, hey, people have been banging up Arsenal early in games to try to get them off their game. So watch for that. And then he let up on Tottenham once we corrected and stopped coming in so hard. And then Arsenal thought the same thing, the opposite way of thinking, all right, well, if he's not going to call it on us, we'll just keep barreling into people. And then he started to call it, which evened out the calls throughout the game.
So it was even, is what you're saying?
Ooh.
Well, one half to one half, but when we start playing a different way and you start playing more aggressive, it benefits you. And just do it the other way for us, and we can play more aggressive in the second half, and then we can win 4-2 instead of 2-2.
I think I'm going to need to hear opinions from people who have watched this game that aren't insanely biased. Or if you're a Tottenham fan or an Arsenal fan, I'd love to hear from you in the comments anyway. But get in those comments. Let us know what you guys think about the ref, what you think about the results. That's something that would help us, because I think Sean and I are both in our own echo chambers, and we're not coming out. Brad,
my echo chamber has a population of 1, by the way,
and very small
know.
walls, very small walls.
Yeah.
Brad, what's your you told me that you had a specific point that you wanted to bring up about Chelsea.
Oh yeah, we can't score goals. We can do everything else but score goals. But with that, let's move to the team that can score goals.
Wow.
Let's get to this Newcastle Sheffield United game. 8 goals.
8 goals.
8.
That's hard to do in FIFA.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of that. You guys remember? I mean, obviously, like that's not like Southampton had 9 goals scored against them twice. I think
in a year.
Yeah, twice in a year. Three times in 2 years or something like that. What, Brad?
No,
it's all 8 different scores.
That's
there was no braces.
If you watch the ticker back, watch it tomorrow. Watch the ticker back. I didn't want to type out all 8 scorers, so I just put it's 8. Just Google it.
Yes.
Oh, that's even more impressive. Wow.
Yeah, talk about spraying it around.
Newcastle.
I mean,
two of them were subs.
I mean, big ups to Newcastle. I know Joel was buzzing after that result. I think his text to us was Newcastle are the best team in the world or something, or in the league. I mean,
absolutely.
A little.
I don't see a reason why he wouldn't feel that way at that point. I tell you.
Especially directly after.
Yeah. I wonder if Todd called up and said, "Can we buy some goals from you guys? How do I get these goals?"
They definitely improved their goal difference. They're now right behind Brighton and Liverpool. They're only 4 off of City, so that's super helpful in terms of goal difference. Now, points are a different story, and what really matters are points in the Premier League. But I mean, I don't think I was expecting that per se, but if there's a team that's going to get 8 put past them, it is one of the 3 recently promoted teams. And can we quickly just say this about the 3 recently promoted teams? They are in the order in which they are right now in the Premier League. They are 20th, 19th, and 18th. They are in the bottom. They all have 1 point. They are having a hard time adapting to the Premier League. It has been a rough start for the newly promoted teams.
Hey, but you didn't give a shout out to Luton for getting their first point ever in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah. And then they got smacked in the EFL Cup by Exeter. Not smacked, 1-0.
Destroyed. Absolutely annihilated.
As a Premier League team, right? Where is Exeter City? What league are they in?
I'm going League 2.
League 1.
Oh, I meant Damn it. I meant League 1.
You meant the 3rd division.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Yes. They are League 1. They're 6th in League 1, but they're in League 1. So you're 2 leagues away, right?
You said they're 6th in League 1, so they're like 40 league positions roughly away. If you look at the pyramid, they're about 40 league positions away.
So,
speaking of League 2, let's give a shout out to Notts County for being newly promoted to League 2 and leading the division right now.
Yeah, man, they're doing well. I mean, Ryan Reynolds kept telling us that they were going to be good. So
that was Rob McElhenney,
and Ryan Reynolds said it too.
Wrexham are 7th.
Well, they had their goalkeeper retire mid-season, so it's tough. It happens.
You know what? For Wrexham, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, if you're listening to this podcast, and I'm sure you do religiously.
Yep.
I know there is a Spanish goalkeeper that is teamless.
Oh,
David De Gea does not have a team.
Or there's a Frenchman they could probably get too, but he is on a team.
He is on a team.
It would probably cost him about $13 million to get Daniel Levy to agree to sell because he's a scumbag.
They're gonna get him cheaper out of. They're gonna get David De Gea cheaper out of there.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that Liverpool beat West Ham 3-1 and sneakily, I think very quietly, are in sole possession of second place. They're 2 points behind City. That midfield regen is doing wonders for Liverpool. Can we? Yeah. Do we agree to that?
It's frustrating. Yeah. It's frustrating,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's extremely frustrating. That imagine if they just cleaned up their midfield, then their back line looks normal again.
It's wild. Like, if I'm a Liverpool fan and I see it this year, I'm just like even more upset at the fact that you guys held on to Milner and Henderson for so long. Like, why? I understand why Klopp did it because it's not like they were buying him midfielders, but it's just like, oh my goodness. Like, they spent like 2 transfer windows talking about the fact that they couldn't sign midfielders because they were going to sign Bellingham.
Yeah,
and then they didn't because they were crap, and Bellingham was like, I'm not gonna go to crap Liverpool, and I mean that's good for us because could you imagine Bellingham with Klopp? I don't want to imagine that.
I saw a comp recently of Bellingham. I didn't realize this guy has so much fire. Like he's in La Liga, like about to fist fight people, and I love it.
He doesn't even speak Spanish. He doesn't know what they're saying.
He doesn't know what they're saying. But you guys know I enjoy a good. You need one shithouser on your team.
Yes,
and if it's your midfielder and he's shithousing all over the place, that's what I want. I want that on my team.
Yeah,
yeah.
Where he's the first one with cleats. I'm studs up, bro. And I'm gonna stand up and talk crap in your face too.
Sean's out here advocating for Felipe Melo, like drop kicking people in the chest. Like
no, I'm not. I'm not talking about slide tackles, not drop kicks.
What was that? I think that was the 2010 World Cup. Maybe it was the 2014 World Cup. I don't remember, but Felipe Melo just absolutely like in the middle of.
I thought you were going to go for what was it, Nainggolan in the semifinal of the World Cup where he. No, it wasn't Nainggolan. It was it Arturo Vidal?
Oh, Vidal did it too.
Yeah.
No, someone high booted someone right in the chest, and I thought it was Nainggolan.
No, Felipe Melo did that as well.
Okay.
And maybe that's what you think about, but I think,
just cleats to the chest,
straight to the chest. Yeah.
No, I'm thinking of a Dutch player for sure, but I'll think of it. It was
it was against the Dutch.
No.
Okay. I see something here on the rundown. It says EFL Cup. Sean, do you have any idea what this is about?
No, absolutely not, and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's a tournament, so he doesn't want to. It involves a trophy.
Well, that's an opportunity for Sean to win a trophy. Why wouldn't he want to talk about it?
Because we don't play in that anymore. It was Nigel de Jong.
Nigel de Jong. Yeah.
Against Spain. Boot to the chest. Champions League or World Cup final.
Maybe Vidal did it in the Champions League. I know Vidal did, and I know Felipe Melo did it. I know for a fact Felipe Melo did it. Anyway,
those like all the players we've named are like the last of a dying breed when that was allowed. That was allowed when they started, and then now like, all right, buddy, you're not allowed to just front kick somebody in the rib cage anymore.
Yeah. So if you are interested in the EFL Cup, it's on ESPN. You'll be getting this podcast video cast on a Wednesday about when this premieres, when this goes live. I think the games will basically be kicking off. So at this point, if you turn this podcast on right when the first half started, you probably could catch the second half essentially. So you should do that. But make sure you finish this video first, or leave it playing And like, subscribe, comment, review, all that stuff. Thumbs up, share it with your mother, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, all that stuff, you know.
X.
Gotta do all
You
that.
said X at the beginning. We're X, not Twitter. X.
True. Yeah. What Brad said. Other than that, I think that's all we have for the review. I definitely want to hear from people in the comments about this North London derby, what you thought about it, or just about literally anything in the comments. Just put whatever you want in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
I'll read them.
Yeah.
You send a comment, I read them.
Hit us up.
Don't be late. Don't be lazy.
I'm out here asking people to do things, and Sean's just like being like, "Yo, put something up, or I'm gonna come break your kneecap." Like,
Yo,
don't.
Don't be lazy.
I mean, we need. You know what? I bet if you bring back the mild inconvenience, we need to get inconvenience some people
Ooh,
for these
true.
reviews to come in.
True. That's a good point.
You know what? Maybe if you don't comment, you're gonna have the road in front of your house repaved, and your Ring notification is gonna go off all day long with paving equipment.
Pro tip. Snooze. You can put a snooze functionality on the motion alarm.
My Ring went off every 5 minutes today.
You can also redraw the lines so that it misses the road.
I'm just saying. Pro tip.
You can snooze every hour.
Snooze.
If you do not comment on this podcast, you will have Ring notifications every 5 minutes all day while you're at work.
Oh, all right. Hit us up on Twitter at KSBradG, down below at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany, collectively at RedCard_Radio on all of the socials. And we will talk to you guys later this week. We've got a preview of Match Week 7 coming up for you. And until then, have a good one. We will see you all soon. Good night.